Breathalyzers are on trial in Colorado as prosecutors find out if it's their cases that are wasted. A racist threat to a family, unsigned, because of course, also the grammar is terrible. We kick off a new series, I Love You, Colorado, but
I don't regret moving because I don't struggle anymore.
Denver builds a wall of sorts to keep out a certain sort of person, and a half-century of seats until the Broncos gave them the boot. All that is next. Drunk driving cases in Colorado, past, present, and future, are essentially on trial all at once inside a small old courthouse up in the mountains in Colorado's second smallest county. There, a DUI attorney is trying to prove to a Gilpin County judge that Colorado's breathalyzer program is fatally flawed. A former lab worker with the Department of Health says that his signature is forged on some of the documents that help the state's breathalyzers get certified. And there's the bad signature in red, good one green. The former co-workers have testified in court that he told them to sign his name. And then a document that tells a judge that the breathalyzer is certified, it's stamped with the signature of someone who no longer works at the Department of Public Health.
We have to make sure innocent people aren't wrongfully convicted. But the other thing is we have to have reliable testing, because not only are you going to have innocent people who could potentially be wrongfully convicted, guilty people are using these issues in court to try to get out of DUIs.
We asked the Department of Public Health their DUI process. Spokesperson tells us the forgery issue is a non-issue because the machine wasn't certified based on a forged signature and because they believe that former employee authorized other people to use his signature. Longmont police are looking for a racist coward with bad grammar, which I know does not really narrow down the pool of racists. And that is why investigators are also checking this letter for fingerprints and DNA. It was mailed to a Hispanic family living on the west side of Longmont. It reads, "You and your family should not be in this white neighborhood. You and your brown boys are not welcome. Go back where you came from." And then the salutation of choice of trolls and racists everywhere, the inability to distinguish between your and your. You're in Trump's country now. The Make America Great Again hashtag. Now listen, you certainly cannot paint all or even most Trump supporters with that broad brush. So let's move from that one anecdote, which is a scary one, to polling data on racial views nationwide, which are really no less scary. So there's a Reuters Ipsos poll last summer that found that less than half of Trump voters held negative views of minorities, 30 to 45%, depending on how it was measured. Hillary Clinton voters held the same views in significant numbers, 20 to 30% by those same measures. But here's one question from that same poll that's quite telling. Asked if they wanted to live in a diverse community, 70% of Clinton supporters said yes, compared to half that number, 35% for Trump voters. So Denver's going to try a new tactic to control the number of people who live and who use drugs along the Cherry Creek Trail. We see that they're now building a wall. It's actually probably going to be more of a fence, some kind of barrier in the end between Spear Boulevard and Cherry Creek near 6th Avenue. Parks and Rec said it's, quote, an effort to protect the trees and natural landscape from degradation. We asked if that is a fancy way of saying keep the homeless people out. And the city acknowledged it has seen more people using the area, and that's led to vandalism and trash. Parks and Rec tells us more barriers might be going up along the trail later this year. As we've repeatedly noted, sweeps and fences and camping bans do not eliminate homelessness, just moves it around our city. If you're a Broncos season ticket holder, try your best not to get old or sick or unable to go to the games, because if you sell all your tickets on the team's official ticket exchange, you could lose them. The team said today it's completed its audit that purged ticket holders who did not go to a single game. Several hundred fans have now officially lost those very valuable seats, including a family that had held them for more than half a century. They spoke with our Jessica O.
You can't even understand why.
Ray and Judy Arthur stick to what they like. They've lived in their hometown of Nunn for 40 years and supported their home team a whole lot longer.
He's had tickets longer than most of those people have had anything to do with the Broncos, so.
Since 1963, that's when the Arthurs got their season tickets, loyal to the orange and blue ever since.
Sat in blizzards and stuff and watched them lose, I mean, when their teams were cruddy and.
Until last year.
Well, I have trouble with my back all the time and walking.
And I had stomach surgery and 2 rotator cuffs.
The Arthurs didn't go to a single game in the 2016 season. Ray learned the Broncos weren't too happy about that.
Our decision has not changed and your license will not be renewed.
No, I can't imagine they'd be that heartless just to send a 10-line email.
Especially when they fought so hard to keep the tickets over the years.
There was a lot of years when I was laid off and things that, you know, we scrimped and saved and somehow found a way to pay for the, you know, the 4 tickets.
The Broncos say they're sticking to their decision, leaving the Arthurs unsure about the team they have been sticking by for 55 years.
Tried to stick with them through the good times and the bad, and that's what you get.
For Next, I'm Jessica O.
The Broncos have agreed not to strip tickets from members of the military who were forced to be out of town serving. Kind of seems like the easiest PR decision in the history of ever right there. May I make a recommendation where I point you toward something that isn't ours but will give you all the feels? Garrett Bowles is the Broncos' new offensive tackle, and any struggle that man faces in the NFL will pale in comparison to his early life. The team tweeted out a video from the couple who took Bowles in after he was kicked out of his family's home. He now calls them mom and dad. They talk about how proud they are of him, how he overcame challenges when no one believed in him. He's now a great success story, about to be a very rich man. The Broncos recorded Garrett watching the video message from his mom and dad. There are tears, there are lots of them. Happy tears. It's well worth 2.5 minutes of your life. You can find a link on the Next Facebook page. It's okay if you want to place your hand over your heart for our next question. Viewers have been asking, when is an American flag too tattered to fly? We've seen some pretty raggedy ones on official buildings lately. And listen, it's not your fault. Colorado's sun and wind can really take a toll on a flag. Members of the Lakewood Elks Lodge number 1777 take their part in the process quite seriously, but they acknowledge even their flag has seen better days. They've ordered a new one and they're waiting for it to arrive.
Should never have a tattered flag flying. Then it is definitely, if your flag is torn and tattered, as you can see ours is right at present, it needs to be replaced. And I feel everybody should give reverence to our flag. This is our country. And when we retire the flag, it should be done in reverence. And so it is done the proper way in burning the flag.
Way to own it, Elks. Colorado has 55 Elks Lodges, all of which would be happy to take your tattered American flag or mine and dispose of it properly. Most Boy Scout troops and VFW posts will take them in as well. Is the A-line working? The train to the plane? You're saying, why are you asking? It works all the time now. And yes, today it is working. But there were some issues yesterday morning. Round trip was canceled because of mechanical issues. But you know what? We don't have Next on Sundays yet. So we got to let the A-line skate on that one. But let's make this clear. There ain't no party like an A-line party, because an A-line party don't stop unless the train does. And we have promised that when the A-line gets the all clear as expected from federal regulators, that will be my outfit aboard the train that day. Quite serious. I heart the A-line with the party hat. And RTD announced over the weekend that they will hold us to the promise. Tweeting, "We love you too, Next. Don't think we didn't save this photo in multiple formats you can never forget." Very fair. Can't wait for the A-line party. Let's just talk returns. 100 days into the Trump administration, we catch up with a couple who disagreed on the election.
He's not prepared.
He's learning. But I haven't given up hope.
Time to be honest about the state we adore. I love you, Colorado, but
Not many places are as great as what we call home here in Colorado. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do for your family.
And we moved the target rock for you people, but at some point everyone's just going to have to learn how to drive. Next. The new Target Rock comes with a complimentary car wash if you manage to hit it hard enough. We convinced Colorado Mills Mall to relocate that Target Rock that kept high-centering cars in Lakewood, but we are not about to go around moving every stinking fire hydrant in the state just because people cannot learn to drive. Mandy Simpson saw somebody get their money's worth on a fire hydrant outside Applejack's liquor store in Wheat Ridge this morning. We choose to believe that the incident was unrelated to the location because that is funny. Drinking and driving isn't. If you are watching Next this evening, you survived the impending white doom over the weekend, and you came through with storm photos that blow patio furniture pics out of the snow. Mickey Weiss sent us this from the Pac-12 Championship Golf Tournament in Boulder. Bag of golf clubs with a snow shovel for insurance. Lindsey Benhamu spotted some kids riding their bikes through the snow in Ken Carroll, because you know why not? Road's clear. Kids want to have a good day. And this right here, the most Colorado thing we saw today, Kathy Miklos sent it in to us. Prom in Colorado, floor-length prom dresses, complete with snow boots.
What a great way to start the week. What a nice recovery. Sunshine and 60s today. A beautiful evening in downtown Denver, and our stormiest day will be coming up tomorrow. No snow, mind you, just a few light rain showers expected tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures mid-60s, pretty close to where we should be for this time of year, and we may be headed into record territory come the end of the week. The latest weather maker is coming our way from the northwest on the heels of that whopper of a storm creating severe weather across the northeast and Carolinas tonight. Threat for tornadoes, large hail, and damaging wind from Washington through New York into Boston. This fast-moving disorganized system coming in tomorrow will bring a little mountain snow and a few showers to the front range tomorrow. Again, tomorrow our stormiest day of the week, but it's kind of a wimpy little storm coming in. No advisories for the high country, but just know there'll be more clouds and sun tomorrow, and you might need the umbrella late in the day. But not tonight. Isolated showers having a hard time getting to the ground, so we'll call it partly cloudy, windy. Temperatures above freezing in the mid-30s, which is where we start Tuesday morning. Mix of clouds and sunshine tomorrow with a late day shower or storm likely. Could linger into the evening ahead of an amazing warm up. 71 on Thursday, close to 80 Friday, 80s for the upcoming weekend, both Saturday afternoon and Sunday. We'll be watching Sunday afternoon for the threat for severe weather, however.
Kathy, thanks. 100 days into the Trump administration, it's time for a renewed conversation, a couple of them. So we're bringing back our popular segment where we bring together two people from opposite political perspectives. Let's just talk. The 100 Days edition. And first up, a pair that we met back in November. Rob Rendon and Chris Mesling are married. They own a print shop in Sheridan. Rob's a conservative, libertarian type who wrote in Rand Paul, but was happy that President Trump won. Chris is a Democrat. She wanted Bernie Sanders, settled for Hillary Clinton. And honestly, neither are too satisfied today.
His big talk during the campaign about doing this and doing that was based on his, I don't know, ignorance about how the government and the system really works. And I think he's getting a taste of how it really works.
Well, I'm most hopeful that we can, as a society, look toward the future and get a little bit less divided. I mean, it's important to have our own opinions, but the division is really hard.
He's not going to get very far with his egotistical manner, but I still think he's got strong ideas, and if he can make them work, we'll all be better off for it, for sure.
100 days in, is there anything that the president has said or done that you feel has had a real impact on you, your family, your business?
Our granddaughter has special needs, and she goes to a fantastic public school, and they do amazing things with her. And I look at the idea that if they take money from the public schools, who will be affected? And it will first hit the special needs kids.
How about your business?
The economy has seemed to be surging his first 100 days, and we've been really busy here. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or the hopefulness of the market that he's going to actually do something.
Well, the economy was strong before he was elected. And if we're looking at Colorado, Colorado has a good, strong economy, and Colorado has a good government. Does Trump get credit? I think it's too soon to tell.
Do you talk about politics more, less than you did around the election?
She talks as much as she did around the election. I've relegated back to just thinking and listening.
I don't think I talk as much. I think it's part of it is just it's become normal, the chaos. I think we accept a lot of things just so we can continue with the rest of our lives.
I think it's more of a I told you so.
No.
No. So let's just talk. You and somebody you know, family member, friend, coworker, or even a total stranger. I'll come along, break the ice, talk about life and politics today, look for solutions and common ground. If you're interested, email next@9news.com or get our attention with the hashtag #HeyNext.
Ever wonder how Mike Klis gets Broncos to give up scoop after scoop? He throws them off by whooping them at bar sports, then they spill everything they know. And a family's breakup letter to our state. How would you complete the sentence? I love you, Colorado, but...
Colorado's not a place that people live by accident. People choose to stay here, and they choose to come here in droves, which means sharing what we love. The mountains, the ski slopes, the trails, the craft beer, sharing it with more and more people each year. An increasingly frequent phrase seems to be, I love you, Colorado, but... You'll complete that sentence for us, and together we'll explore Colorado's challenges and possible solutions to those issues. We begin tonight with a viewer named Dylan, a Colorado native who just moved his family to Iowa. Not because he didn't love it here. It broke his heart to leave.
It's been fun, Denver. This is more for me to have closure than anyone or anything else, so disregard if you so choose. I love you, Colorado, but you're too expensive. It's too hard to afford to save money, to pay bills, and also be able to look for my daughter's future. I've lived here my whole life. I've lived here for 24 years. Colorado used to be a place where a family could afford a 2-bedroom for $700 or $800. Colorado used to be a place where, you know, there was always traffic, there was always a lot of people, but at this point it's become so much more. You get stuck in traffic even when it's not rush hour. You have to have an incredible job just to be able to pay your rent and live comfortably. You know, when it's just me and my wife, you know, we can go without some things. You know, we can kind of live on the edge or whatever, and there's no worries. But when you have a child, you want to be able to save money. You want to be able to spoil her with all these toys and make sure she has a savings for her future, and that's hard to do when you're paying so much here. I love Colorado, and I had to leave it behind to benefit my daughter. I moved out of state. I found a place in the Midwest that is definitely affordable. I pay under $500 a month for a large 2-bedroom. The cost of living, period, is less than half of what I was paying here, for so much more than I was getting here as well. If you're moving here from out of state, just keep in mind that there are people here who have lived here a long time and who are struggling to make ends meet here. And when you move here, you might be displacing another family who's been here. But at the same time, Colorado is a wonderful and beautiful state, and I love it with all my heart. But there are other places out there. You know, don't feel like you're chained to one spot. We're off to start a new chapter of our life in a place that may never be quite as fantastic as Colorado, but will give us so many more opportunities for our daughter. Stay mile high, everybody.
How would you complete the sentence? I love you, Colorado, but. We're looking for thoughtful takes on common gripes, but we also want to hear about issues that aren't discussed very often. You know how to reach us, and you know that I read everything that you send. Email next@9news.com or use the hashtag HeyNext. The Denver Broncos have an ingenious way to keep their draft picks humble. The guys play Pop-A-Shot with our Mike Kliss. Our third-round pick, wide receiver Carlos Henderson, found that his on-field skills don't always translate to meaningless bar games. And Kliss managed to pry some info out of him along the way.
Must have been a hooper back in the day, man.
I like that basketball. They're helping my. Yeah, I got to roll. Right. Oh my gosh, look at it. I can sit and rest for a while.
81 to 27. He got.
It was.
He had to be a shooter back in the day.
I got you.
I'm reading your feedback right now on the I Love You Colorado Butt, and it is fire. We'll dive in next. You are sending us an answer to the sentence, I love you, Colorado, but every 15 to 20 seconds. Please keep them coming. We read them all. Even Jane's, who says, but nothing. There should be less complaining and more gratitude. Speaking of gratitude, Shelby Morgan says every state needs a next, but I'm secretly selfish that you're with us. Well, until Montana or Oregon makes a better offer. So I will see you next time.